Today we're going to take a look at how to sign up for a Keap developer account and also a Keap sandbox so that you can begin building on top of the Keap public API platform. So the first thing you want to go do is go to developer.keap.com and scroll on down to the plans section where you'll see sign up for a sandbox. Click on that. And this is where you can go ahead and get a sandbox application that has 3 users, 250 contacts, and up to 100 emails per month. There is a fee for voice broadcasts and for faxes. So go ahead, click sign up, and you will be presented with this screen where you'll enter your first, last name, and email address, which needs to be valid because you will get a verification email, which will also allow you to set up your account credentials. Then after this, you'll click on continue, and you'll be presented with this screen, which will give you an opportunity to enter your credit card number. It does need to be a valid credit card. It is used for any of those incidental voice broadcasts or faxes, although a majority of developers never run into a use case where they need to go ahead and leverage that capability. After you click on continue, you will get in your email a verification and a link that will send you over to setting up your Keap account. You're going to want to go ahead and run through that setup of your Keap account until you hit this screen, which is the one that basically says you are now inside of your application. You've set up a logo, you've set up information about your small business, and you can go ahead and get started. If you are here at this screen, then you are ready for the next step, which is coming inside of developer.keap.com, clicking on developer account, and then clicking on create an account to get started. So you'll create a new account with your first and last name and a valid email. You will be getting an email from apogee.io, so just check your spam if you don't see it in your inbox, and then make sure you create a password and make sure that you also read through the terms. Click create account, and you should end up coming back after you verify to this screen, and you ideally will see your email address in the upper right hand corner. Go ahead and expand that and click on apps, and once you do that, inside of there you'll have an opportunity to create a new app. An app is, imagine I'm a third-party developer. I'm creating something to expand on the Keap ecosystem, or I want to add new functionality. The app name that you enter in here will show up in the OAuth 2 screen. So we'll just call this demo app. And then we will go ahead and enter a description. So demo time. And you'll notice that you get 150,000 calls per day and 1.5 thousand calls per minute. So click enable and create. And now you are presented with a screen where you can have API keys and a secret. So at this point in time, you are ready to then move over into Postman. Inside of Postman, go ahead and click on new collection. And you'll want to go ahead and rename that collection. Let's call it Keap. Pick the auth type as OAuth 2. And then you'll need to start to pull some information. Most of the defaults are good to go. So you want to have the auth data added to the request headers. You will not have an access token at this point in time, so that stays blank. The header prefix should stay as bearer. The token name can be anything you want. So we'll name it anything you want. Inside of the grant type, you can have it be authorization code. That's exactly what you need. And the callback URL, click this button, authorize using browser. And that will go ahead and make sure that we can go ahead and do an authorization using Chrome or Internet Explorer, whatever your default browser is. The auth URL, the way that you get that is you come into the documentation, Click on REST API. Click on the OAuth guide. Scroll down. Under the authorization request section, you will see this URL that ends with /authorize. Place that here in the auth URL. For the access token URL, go to the access token request section. There is a URL that ends with /token. Copy that, paste that in the access token URL. For the client ID, go back over to your API keys, copy that, paste that into the client ID, copy the secret, put that here, and then for scope, go ahead and you can put that as full. The one thing that you want to do before you do anything else is click Save, click Get New Access Token. If you are already logged into your application, which ideally you are because you sort of left off at that step, you'll jump straight to this screen. Otherwise, if you are not logged in, you'll have to go through the login process. Pick the app that you want this to be linked to. And so we see demo app showed up here because that's what we named our app in the developer portal. So I'll pick that. I'll click allow. It says the call's been authenticated. So go ahead and wait for it to proceed. You can see the token name is anything you want. So literally anything you want is what you can have in there. Click use token. Once you have that in there, you'll want to go back and think about making API calls. So the first easiest API call to make is to the account profile. So we'll go ahead in here, click add request, and we are going to call it account profile. You can name it anything you want, but this is just whatever you name this is what shows up over on this side. Inside the URL, you should know that inside of the getting started docs, that all the requests should be made to this HTTPS API URL. It ends with /v1. So go ahead and enter that in here. Now the account API URL is, account profile is under /account/profile. Again, that's inside of this documentation, account profile, and it's a get. You can see there's a get here. So now we can go ahead and click send, and we get our profile information. So there's a very simple way to go ahead and get your developer credentials and use them. One thing you should note is that we do have a community, so make sure that you visit our community at community.keap.com. Go into the API section. And one other thing to note is that we also have a Facebook API group. So make sure that you go ahead and look for the Keap API community group on Facebook. All right, hope that was helpful.